Today we're dining with the chef right beside the Chao Phraya River in exotic Bangkok. You don't want to miss this one. I'm Thomas Robson and this is Entree to Asia. Here we are in Bangkok in my favorite restaurant. It's Ban Krua on Soi Saladeng in the heart of Bangkok near Siloam Road. I've been coming here for 5 years now and I've always wanted to have a way of sharing it with other people. This is the best opportunity. We're here with Kun Oi, who is the daughter of the owner of the restaurant. She'll be our translator today. And Kun Buatong, who is the chef. She doesn't speak English, but she's going to teach us a very important lesson here right now. We're going to prepare the soup gai kimao. Yeah. Is that right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, let's start. The stock is boiling. It's just a basic stock, right?
Yes.
Simple chicken base?
Yes.
Excellent. A typical Thai stock doesn't need any bouquet garni. That is to say, it doesn't need onions, carrots, or any of the other ingredients we imagine going into a stock. Just carefully reduced with chicken bones. Now the chicken goes in first.
Yeah.
Soybean paste?
Yes, yes.
So this would be like the fermented soybeans.
Yeah, yeah.
You can find that in most Asian stores, Asian specialty stores. The fermented soybean is a universal ingredient throughout Southeast Asia and most of Asia. Notice how the chicken is basically left alone until the stock comes back to a boil. That will help to produce a slightly clearer stock, a nice looking soup. Chef, what is this ingredient?
Fish sauce.
The nam pla.
Yes, nam pla.
The Thai fish sauce, which is the best fish sauce you can buy. Always look for a Thai brand. You'd say that was 2 tablespoons?
Yes. And lemon juice.
Now, it's interesting. In North America, we have, and elsewhere in the world, of course, we have lemons and limes. But here in Thailand, we don't hear much mention of lime, but that's mostly what's used. We often hear lemon juice, but really we should be thinking, at least back home, we should be thinking of limes. Our lemons don't have nearly the nice flavor.
About 2 spoons.
Aha, the good part.
And chili.
What is the name of this chili in Thai?
Pricky pha. Pricky pha, yes.
That's one of the largest of the Thai chilies, right? The biggest size?
Yes.
It's often said that the big chilies have a better flavor than the small ones. Small ones have more heat.
Yeah.
Big ones have less heat and more taste. Now you can begin to smell the excellent fragrance.
I have to turn off first and then put on the leaf.
So by turning off the heat, the boiling, you keep the flavor from the leaves.
Yes.
In this case, the herb is fresh basil. So the successful points to a simple soup here. Bring the stock to the boil with the chicken in it before stirring the chicken in any way to help keep the stock clearer. And then progress under a fairly vigorous heat until the very end. This is the part I've been looking forward to. Aroy ma. Very delicious. The life of an executive chef is one charged with responsibilities. A large hotel, so many outlets for food. How can one know what's going on? This is George Baird, executive chef of the Bangkok Shangri-La, one of the most renowned super hotels of Southeast Asia. George, I understand it's hard for you to find time now to even get to the stove on your own.
That's right. I mean, the Shangri-La Bangkok is such a large property. But I do find time, obviously, to create new menus and to build up standards for the local chefs.
So a huge creative responsibility as well as organizational responsibility.
Yeah, sure. You still have to keep up with local trends, Asian trends. Obviously, it's a competitive market. You still have to come up with new ideas.
Excellent. So can you show us today a little bit about how Asian trends have influenced your work?
Yeah, sure. I mean, today, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a very, very simple snack. This snack basically is suitable for cocktails, for dinners. It's very simple, it's very fast. You can get most of the ingredients down at the local supermarket. And I'm just going to point out and go around the table and show you what I have here in front of us, and I can describe the dish that I'm going to do.
Great, let's go.
Okay, so basically, you've got obviously the lemongrass. The lemongrass now is a very popular spice at the moment, found in many, many supermarkets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this section away. In Thailand, they use only the root section. The stem is basically thrown away into the garbage. They don't use it. So that gave me an idea to say, well, okay, let's try and use the whole thing.
Right.
And what I thought was to take this section and to use it as a stick for a piece of finger food.
Amazing.
So that's what I'm going to show you today. That'll be using lemongrass. We'll do some cut chili for garnish. I have a prawn mousse here. This prawn mousse has been minced. It's been mixed with some garlic, some coriander root, and then black pepper, and those three ingredients are pounded together.
Right.
And then it will be mixed into the prawn with a little bit salt and pepper, 1 egg, and by hand to get the natural glutinous effect, they beat it so that it becomes stiff like that.
And also working it by hand, you incorporate some air, making a lighter mousse.
That's right, yeah,
Fantastic.
because the egg white will start to whip also. And then what I'm going to do is basically is take this prawn mousse, attach it to the stick of lemongrass, and then deep fry it. It's so simple.
Sounds like it'll look great too.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll start first of all is basically take the lemongrass. Okay, and I'm going to take it off at an angle around here, like this.
Now the part to your right, or stage left as it were, that's the part normally thrown out.
That would be considered thrown away, waste. So they throw that away. But I'm going to actually use this piece. And many people at home who use lemongrass also, they feel, you know, what do I do with this? Because it's so hard.
Exactly.
In Thai cooking practices, the whole of the lemongrass goes inside. It's something that's left inside the finished product.
Right.
So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably use this for my Thai kitchen.
Okay.
And then what I do with this section here is I peel away the section.
Just like the outer few leaves, like you would a head of lettuce.
And I'll just trim it down just slightly more. And then here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the prawn mousse onto the steak.
Okay.
Yeah, now I suggest that you use some kind of water because it's very sticky on the fingers. So just dip your fingers inside the water here and then take up a section of your prawn mousse, like so. In Asian cuisine, it's very, very normal to use the hands. It's very practical. It's also, you know, it gives a sense of feeling for the food. So basically what I do is I take the prawn mousse and I'll attach it to the lemongrass stick. Okay?
I see, and the less you handle it, the better. You give it a basic shape and away you go.
Yeah, that's right. You just give it a basic shape, very, very simple. Dip your fingers inside the water and smooth it off a little bit.
I always wondered how you get a smooth appearance.
Okay, and then that's it. That's basically it. Now what I'm going to do now is basically give it a coating of flour, egg and breadcrumb. The old European pane, as we say, you know. Okay, and you simply just want a shape like that.
Perfect.
So what we'll do now is we will first stick it into the flour. Now when you flour this, try not to have too much flour on there. The reason is if you have too much flour, the eggs is not going to stick. So just knock off the excess flour.
I see. So in other words, don't like cover it completely with the
No,
flour.
no, you don't want
pressure.
lumps on there, because when you start to deep fry it, you'll have these flour lumps, and they're not very pleasant to eat. You know?
I see.
So just knock off the excess flour. Like that. Keeping the shape at all times. It's very important to hand mold it. Let's knock a little bit there. It's also very important to have a good seal, because obviously you don't want the fat to get inside there to break the coat.
Okay, so it could break the coat, maybe it could even loosen it off the stick.
Yeah, loosen it, and also it would expand. The mousse is going to expand a little bit because of the heat.
Right.
Okay, so you've got to make sure you have a decent coating. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll dip it into the egg, just turn it, twist. The good thing about this is not the same as doing something like a croquette where your hands will get full. You've got something to hold.
Many
you know?
hours in the kitchen with my hands up to my wrists in egg wash,
2,000
breading little items.
for a banquet. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this gives you something to hold. So we're quite lucky here, and just drip off the excess egg yolk. This is just a basic egg wash. It's whole eggs with water.
Just a little bit of water and
whisked up, and then just to break and to make it more easy to work with. You see, if you see it has these flour spots, dip it again. That's the excess flour coming off. It hasn't caught.
So a little bit of that flour has been left behind now.
Exactly.
And where those open spaces were, the goal is to recover them.
Exactly. Otherwise, the coating will come off. And then into the breadcrumb. I just make sure that it gets a nice coating.
At this point, is it recommended you cook them right away, or could you put them aside on a tray uncovered?
You can, yeah, uncovered. Try to do this. It's very important with all cooking, obviously, that you have to have things ready. If you start to rush around, it can be a problem. So it is better. Don't if you're going to do it. Say 20 minutes before, 15 minutes before, and just leave it and deep fry it. And you'll always keep it dry. If you put it in the fridge, it'll just become soggy.
I understand. Okay. I understand. So therefore, 20 minutes, so it can stay at a room temperature instead of getting soggy in a fridge.
So that's basically the finished product. It just goes like that. Now what I have some over by the deep fat fryer, and we go over and we fry one portion.
Perfect.
And then I'll finish it for the plate for you.
Great.
Okay.
We're off.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we place them gently into the fryer.
The delicate touch will certainly help to make sure these come out perfectly.
Sure, what you don't want to do is you don't want to throw them into the fryer, because what's going to happen is basically the coating is going to come off. And then we'll just fry
breading will be damaged, you're saying?
Yeah, sure.
So slowly lower them in.
Slowly lower them in. And then we'll get them to a nice golden brown.
And what temperature are you cooking at there with the oil?
Cooking at 375. Nice and golden brown. And when they start to float, whenever any item that's deep fried starts to float, then you know that it's cooked.
That it's done?
That it's done.
Now, of course, onto an absorbent paper.
Sure, just to trap the grease. Okay, over to the plate.
Out of the fryer and...
Out of the fryer onto the plate. Basically, what I'm going to do now is take the finished snack. It's also a nice touch, but if you can get it, is the banana leaf. That'd be quite nice. But you can use a doily or a serviette. And just to give it just a little extra height, put the one in the middle like that. And then what I'm going to do now is just serve it with a little bit of Thai plum sauce.
Thai plum sauce is a little bit different from other plum sauces. It's got just a little bit of chili.
That's right.
It doesn't seem to be as runny as some plum sauces.
And then just for a dip, you really, if you find it difficult to find the plum sauce, hey, you can use any kind of dipping sauce. You can use a tartar sauce. You could use you could use a tomato ketchup if you want something simple. It doesn't have to be the plum sauce, but it would be nice. And basically, we take a little bit of chili, and just cut at an angle.
Nice thin slices at a sharp angle.
Yeah. Okay, and just a little bit to decorate, a little bit of garnish, just to bring out the colours of the plate, of the foods, of the green banana leaf.
A little something for those who might like it really hot too.
Sure, you could take a nice mouthful of the prawn skewer, and if you'd like to just spice it up, you could add a little bit of chili. Yeah.
I love it.
And there you go. That is prawn skewer with plum sauce and chili.
Dining beside the Chao Phraya River is a real treat, of course, and is popular with most Thais, especially on special occasions. And we happen to have a special occasion dish today. It's pineapple fried rice, Thai style. That's khao pad saparot. Khao means rice, pad means to stir fry, saparot is for the pineapple. Simple dish to put together. Here are the ingredients that you're going to need. Some fish sauce, some coriander root chopped up quite finely. Just so that you know what's going on here, here's a lovely coriander root. The leaves have been snipped away. If you can't get the plant with the root on, then by all means, take this bottom inch or so of the plant, and that'll be an excellent substitute. We have that ready to go. There's some sugar just down here in the foreground. We have some coconut milk. Take a regular can of coconut milk, shake it up so everything's combined nicely, and then measure out about a cup. Along with that, right in the middle here, I have some white pepper. Just a touch of white pepper is all you'll need, about a half a teaspoonful. So let's fire up the old burner. I love these little tabletop stoves. They are brilliant for entertaining at home. And we'll start off with our rich coconut milk here. If you shake a can of coconut milk, well, that's what you're going to get. All combined together, one can will make rich or first extraction coconut milk. I'll put this out of the way. Not a complicated recipe, far from it. The next ingredient is the fish sauce, about 3 tablespoons full. The white pepper, half a teaspoon. I have a little bit more here than that, so I'm just going to shake in. There we are. A nice white pepper note, very typical of Thai cookery. Some sugar. And this is about 1/4 cup. The sugar will help balance the fish sauce saltiness. And coriander roots. Here's 3 coriander roots, nicely chopped up, ready to go. Let's just scoot the rest of these in here. And we're going to bring that to a simmer. I just need a spoon for stirring with here. Hey, here's a great idea. You want to do something really Thai? If you're barbecuing or trying to stir something up, why not take a bit of lemongrass here, just bruise the end, cut it to a manageable length, and stir with that to give a nice lemongrass flavor to your dishes. That's a real treat, a little rustic, and it makes your guests go wild. We'll let that simmer for about 5 minutes so the rich oil in the coconut milk can infuse all the aromatic flavors from the coriander root, the fish sauce, the white pepper, and so on. Day 8. One of the unwritten laws of travel is you should imagine what it would be like to live in your chosen destination full time. Take Bangkok, for instance. You'd better like the water if you're going to live here. And you'd need a boat. Nothing fancy, of course, just something simple and efficient. Point A to point B kind of stuff. And keep in mind while you're running errands around the canals that right-of-way is important. You never know what or who you're going to run into. If you lived here year-round, you'd spend a lot of time on the water, maybe even in it. Of course, there's always rush hour to consider. Okay, well, our sauce has simmered for the 5 minutes that it required, and I've cleared away that burner and sat this near my wok because we need to be organized around the wok area. Gather everything together as close to the wok as is safe. For the rest of this dish, what we'll need is some fried rice, some cashew nuts, and some cubed pineapple. And then we're ready to go. So, I'll turn on the burner, adjust the heat, and I'll heat up the wok. Now, you don't have to have a wok necessarily. You can use a cast iron frying pan. You can use a deep, heavy-duty, thick-bottomed pot. Just keep in mind that if you use the latter two items, the cast iron and the pot, when you're done the cooking, get the food out of the pan. It'll stay hot much longer than a wok will. Okay, a plenty hot wok. We'll turn off the heat now. We'll add in some oil. Don't be afraid to turn the heat on and off when you're stir frying. It's not about keeping a constant blazing heat when you're stir frying. It's about regulating heat. So we'll add in the cashew pieces. We'll add but we'll turn on the heat again, adjust the heat, and we'll let these cook a bit. If you buy raw cashews, this is even better than getting the roasted ones, because the raw ones will take a while to brown and they'll really give a cashew nut flavor to the oil. Okay, these are picking up some color now, so the next thing to do is add in the rice. I have about 3 cups of cooked rice here, and leftover rice works beautifully for this dish. Let's just toss this about a little bit here. Okay, tossing works well to mix everything up together. If you want to add a slightly spicy note to this dish, why not toss in just a little bit of chili flakes. That's a little bit too little that I used there. There, that's the right amount. Some chili flakes to give a nice little pepper note to the dish. Now it's time for the pineapple. This doesn't take very long at all. In goes pieces of fresh pineapple. You can hear how fresh it is. It's sizzling. And we'll toss that about to mix that in. Now we'll regulate the heat, because the next step, we want to be careful. We're going to take some of that wonderful sauce that we just made, and we're going to ladle some of that in as we cook the rice. We want the rice to become nice and shiny and just lightly moistened. So I'm going to start off with 2 spoonfuls, and carefully I'm going to mix that and fold that in. And we'll let that cook a bit. You want to sort of dry out the rice a little bit at this point. There we are. Increase the heat just a touch. I want to keep that drying action happening. There we go. You can hear it by the sizzle. Flip this over a little bit. And now we'll add just a touch more of our delicious coconut and coriander root sauce. Just like that. Now obviously we've made more than enough sauce. What you can do with the remaining sauce is put it away and freeze it, and then bring it out repeatedly. Use what you need, or freeze it in little blocks if you like. Use what you need to make more pineapple rice, or why not try using it in a pasta dish just to give a wonderful Thai aroma to a pasta sauce. Great idea. Perfection. Now, here's the lovely part. This is the part that makes this a Thai presentation dish for a special occasion. I've taken a pineapple. Let me just turn this around so it looks good here. I've taken a pineapple and I've carved out the inside. Now, you don't have to be a specialist in fruit and vegetable carving to do this. Just get in there, cut out the pieces of meat a little bit at a time, and don't worry about how it looks inside, because the next step is to take this beautiful cashew and pineapple rice and ladle it right in to the pineapple. Maybe my spoon is a little bit big here. I'll take the sauce spoon that we used for the sauce. Now don't be shy about really getting this in there. You can pack it down a little bit. It's a fairly moist dish, really delicious. And let's lay some cashew nuts on the top here so that they're obvious. Here's some nice ones showing all the toasty appearance of the stir frying. And there's a dish for a Thai birthday. Honestly, this is like a birthday cake in Thailand. Pineapple fried rice. If you want to prepare it about a half an hour ahead of time, well, by all means do so. And then put the piece of pineapple that you cut away, or a simple piece of aluminum foil over it. Keep it warm in an oven, and it'll pick up all the aroma from the pineapple as it stays warm in the oven. And that's a really nice treat too. This dish has no meat in it, So if you want to make a little bit more of a carnivore delight, why not add some sliced barbecue pork or some leftover chicken or a little bit of leftover roast pork. That'll be delicious. Not the barbecue, but your homemade roast. Right on. With Chef George Baird's great shrimp on the lemongrass stock and with the pineapple fried rice, we're set for entertaining. More great entertaining to come on Entree to Asia. I'm Thomas Robson.
To find out more about Entree to Asia, including recipes and program descriptions, visit our website at www.entreetoasia.com.